Welcome in, quick hitters. Welcome in, Goodymo short crew. We have another quick hit spotlight. Bobby SLOWIK. He's one of us. But before we get into that, tonight, Summer League, Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies championship. If you haven't been watching Summer League, some games like watching toddlers out there playing with their toys. But when you finally find you a good game, like tonight on Monday night, championship between the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies, you might want to tune in. Great storylines on that one. Scotty Pippen Jr., the guy who's been cut by the Lakers, is with the Memphis Grizzlies showing out. Another guy from the Miami Heat who used to be a Houston Rocket. He didn't pan out in Houston for some reason, but that's Josh Christopher. Guy came in, he showed out in Summer League for the Rockets. Liked his stature, liked his attitude. He came in, he worked hard, driving the ball, playing some defense. The roster was stacked, couldn't find a position for him. So now he's with the Miami Heat in Summer League, and he is showing out. He had a big game last night, putting him in a championship game against Memphis Grizzlies. So it's an interesting storyline going into that championship game. Scottie Pippen Jr. and Josh Christopher going head-to-head to see who's going to win it. Yeah, it's just Summer League, but we're about to transition into the NFL coming up pretty soon. As you know, the Texans are in training camp, and it's looking good so far. Looking good. Things you're hearing about Stefon DIGGS so far in training camp, nothing short of amazing. Great things coming from them. They're right on schedule. Can't wait till the season starts. But we're going to get into Bobby SLOWIK. Talking about Stefon DIGGS. He's one of us. So we're going to get into this little short clip. Then we'll come back and talk about it. But big things from Stefon DIGGS so far. I like to hear that this early before the season starts. So let's check it out.
I just love his personality. He's extremely competitive. He's got energy. He's got juice. You know, I'd never been around him prior to this. And I think I speak for the entire offense and the entire team that he's fun to be around, you know. But at the same time, he wants to be the best he could possibly be. He wants to be coached. He wants to help teach young guys. You know, he wants to be a leader. He also wants other guys in the room, when they have something for him, to coach him and to teach him and get something from Nico, get something from Tank. And like he's one of us. You know, that's the number one thing that jumps out to me is he's one of us. He's a competitor. He loves football, and he's been a great dude.
Keep all of your offensive players happy.
So you hear that? Great things. That was like picture perfect. Music to your ears. Just music to your ears. Listening about Stefon DIGGS by Bobby SLOWIK. Now, as far as his work ethic and his professionalism, we already knew that about Stefon DIGGS. The only knock on him was what type of teammate was Stefon DIGGS. And if you're going off of what happened in Buffalo, you'll say chaos, turmoil. The guy's a high competitor. You heard from Bobby SLOWIK. He wants to win. He loves being in his locker room. He's teaching the young guys, this young receiver group that is stacked, calling it the five-headed monster. Adding Stefon DIGGS, he's coaching them up. And not only that, he's taking insights from them. Any way to better his game and to better this team offensive wide receiver group, that's what he's doing. So, man, it's just music to my ears hearing him talk about Stefon DIGGS in this way. Like I said, it was turmoil in Buffalo. Things didn't work out. And he didn't say no backlash with Buffalo leaving them. Or Josh Allen had no bad things to say about him, just moving on. Getting to a new team, get a new breath of fresh air, and trying to see what they can do this year. Getting deep in the playoffs, trying to win a Super Bowl. If that happens, it'll be great. But they should make the playoffs. No doubt about that. So that's no question. Can they win a division? Absolutely they can win the division. Can they win the Super Bowl? Yes, they can have an absolutely great chance of winning the Super Bowl. But it's two factors. And if you covered this team most of your life like I have, you know their tendencies, you know their weak points, you know what they need to get great at. And two things come to mind. if they're going to win a Super Bowl. Number one, maturity. Maturity is going to be a big factor. When I say maturity, I'm talking about times are going to get rough. It's not going to be a box of chocolates all through the season. You're going to have some adversity. You might go into a 2 or 3 game losing slump, but you can't lose your focus. You can't start pointing the finger. And this is the part where they start saying Stefon DIGGS is going to show himself. When things get bad, they start losing games. He's going to start pointing blame around, saying he's not getting the ball enough. They need to change some things on offense. You're going to hear about all this kind of stuff that they're thinking about that's going to happen with Stefon DIGGS. Maturity in this football team is going to pay big dividends going down the stretch when things are getting tough, when you stand focused, stacking wins, getting closer to your goal. There's a lot of young players on this team. So if they can stay focused, take things serious, they're going to have an absolutely good chance. A great chance, actually. The second thing that's big on my book, besides maturity, is awareness. Awareness. What do I mean by awareness? Awareness in knowing who you're playing. Awareness in knowing it don't matter if you're playing the Cardinals or you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. You got to come with the same attitude, the same game plan, effort. If you're playing a team that just won the Super Bowl like the Kansas City Chiefs, you can't go through these lows all down through the season. You can't do that. You got to get up for every game, week by week, taking it one game at a time, and don't have no letdowns. Just because you playing so-called Cleveland Browns or a team that's at the bottom of the barrel coming in this season, just because you're playing teams like that, you still got to do what you got to do. Still bring your effort. Still come with the master game plan. It's going to be a lot of games this year. Y'all going to be on prime time. People are going to be paying a lot of attention to the Texans, especially coming in this year because there's a lot of star power, especially when Stefon DIGGS came over. All eyeballs are going to be on the Texans. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't feel no pressure. Big prime time games, get up for them. All that's in the past now. This team done gained experience. They're young, but they have experience. They got some veteran leadership. Not much, but they got some veteran leadership. You know what you got to do. The time is now for the Texans. No more excuses. You can say freshman, sophomore, junior, all these players. It doesn't matter. Great head coach. Great system. I almost want to say great front office. It's been a long time. I'm in therapy. I almost want to say great front office.
Or maybe you feel irritable or like running away. I'm going to walk you through a process to calm down. Now you're going to be okay. These feelings will pass. You can do this.
It's there. It's close. They standing back. They let D'Amico do his thing. Caserio is, look like he got a little brain and wits about him, but at first it was a little rocky for me. I wasn't a big Caserio fan. He's starting to work on me a little bit. But the McNairs, I don't know. That's a process. That's a long therapy session. But they're getting there, if you get my point. The Texans are getting there. Houston sports is getting there. I keep stating it over and over again. I'm excited about this season. All the pieces are in place. I mean, from the front end to the back end, from the back end to the front end, all around this roster is nothing but talent, speed, power, intelligence. And Bobby SLOWIK, we got to be lucky. This guy could have been gone. He decided to stay. He won't be a Texan for long. Head coach is all over this guy. Way speaks, way moves. Hell of an offensive coordinator. So enjoy him while you have him in Houston, because I'm telling you, after this season, it's just going to be hard to keep a guy like this. Offensive guru is going to be hard. And he's just going to be a kid in candy store just using all of them, putting guys in spots, working towards their strengths. Healthy Tank Dell, and hopefully he can go through the whole season healthy. That's going to be huge and big. Quit allowing this guy to do reverses and crack back blocks on a goal line around all these big players. Now, SLOWIK say they're trying to cut back on some of those plays. No, you need to eliminate those plays. Take care of your little guy. He's a specialist. He got talent. Don't put him in harm's way. There's no need to do that. You got other guys that can do that. Little guy like that with speed, hands, elusiveness, you want to keep him healthy on the field. He shouldn't be cracking back on blocks, trying to free guys open up holes to run. Leave that to somebody else. Now, as far as reverses and little trick plays, limit that to about 2 a game. And most of them has to be around the red zone area. I don't want to see 5 or 6 plays with Tank Dell doing wide receiver reverse and stuff like that. Just putting him out there on the island to get trampled on, being a small guy. So it's about smarts as well too. I think Bobby SLOWIK learned his lesson from last season. There's no need for him getting hurt, knocked out of the season on the goal line, getting down there with those big sloppy Joe Funyun eating mountain men. He don't need to be down there with them. It's a whole different ball game. Keep it skilled. Just keep it skilled. Too much talent on this team. So going to the playoffs, no surprise. No surprise, they will make the playoffs. Winning the division, they should win the division. Winning the Super Bowl, there's a strong possibility. They got a greater chance than anybody else out there. They can push the envelope with Kansas City Chiefs now. They have that much talent. Like I said, it's going to come down to health. Like every other team, comes down to health. Keep your guys upright, especially the offensive line. Too many changeable parts last year. They barely even had a same starting lineup at the offensive line all season long last year. You keep that intact. The defense is monstrous. I mean, I told you it's top to bottom. Top to bottom. So expecting big things. So y'all let me know if y'all think these Texans going to actually go in the playoffs, make some noise, challenge the Kansas City Chiefs, because I think this team is good enough to actually beat the Chiefs. But like I said, it comes down to 2 things. Maturity and awareness. Act like you've been there before. Teams that come on that schedule, you just line them up, knock them down. No matter who it is. A 0-8 team, it doesn't matter. 8-0 team, coming there with the same fortitude. Don't play no games with anybody, because you definitely can't afford it in NFL football. Things change real quick. 2-3 game losing streak puts you completely out of the race sometimes. It just depends. A lot of teams never recapture what they had when you lose 2 or 3 games in a row. It's tough. It is tough. Before we get out of here, we'll listen to it one more time. Bobby SLOWIK on Stefon DIGGS.
I just love his personality. He's extremely competitive. He's got energy. He's got juice. You know, I'd never been around him prior to this. And I think I speak for the entire offense and the entire team that he's fun to be around, you know, but at the same time, he wants to be the best he could possibly be. He wants to be coached. He wants to help teach young guys, you know, he wants to be a leader. He also wants other guys in the room, when they have something for him, to coach him and to teach him and get something from Nico, get something from Tank. Embrace, like he's one of us. You know, that's the number one thing that jumps out to me is he's one of us. He's a competitor. He loves football, and he's been a great dude.
Great props to Stefon DIGGS. Great things. I'm glad to hear about it. Because that's our only question was how this guy's going to act when things are bad in that locker room. When you're starting to lose a couple of games. Everything sounds good. Breath of fresh air. Things you want to hear this early in training camp. I'm a big Stefon DIGGS fan. The way he showed up as quarterback, like I said before, we don't know the inside story, but whatever the case may be, you just don't do that on the field. Very animated. It looks crazy. It looks mental. But like I said, I don't expect that here with this team. This team has a foundation. And C.J. Stroud, walking example. Head coach DeMeco Ryans, walking example. Bobby SLOWIK, just great men all over this team. So that's why he said he's one of us. He's fitting right in. You put a great player like Stefon DIGGS that has a little trouble running his mouth, getting frustrated on the field. When you put him in a good foundation like this team here, he's going to fall right in. That's why he said he's one of us. He found a family now. Whether he stayed 1 year, 2 years, 3, it doesn't matter. Take advantage of what you have now. No more time to waste. Let's go get it, Houston Texans. Football season on the way. It's time to transition. I'm all for it. But don't forget to watch the Summer League game, 7, 8 o'clock. I believe Miami Heat going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. Scotty Pippen Jr., Josh Christopher. Go for the Heat. Thanks for y'all time. This is G.S.Q.H. Good at Most Sports Quick Hits. And we out of here. Peace.